Hello there, Internet. It's time for a little bit of that late night video making life. This is going to be a little bit of a rant and or ramble because it's very late and I'm woefully underprepared. I was just getting ready for bed and I was taking a quick shower and I was thinking to myself, I want to talk about going it alone. Now, I'm a person who is sort of world-class stubborn. For whatever reason, my constitution is wired up such that I trust my experience of the world, and I'm not super interested in modifying my experience of the world based on information that other people want to present to me about their experience of the world. That's just how I'm put together. It's always sort of been that way for as long as I can remember, and for as long as anybody around me has been making observations about my character and what I'm about. Oh, I should check that I'm actually recording. I am actually recording. Look at that. The sorts of things that if you actually prepare, you look into. So this is something that I have to be really sensitive to, and I have to really make a conscious decision to modify my sort of innate behavior towards something that's going to serve me a little bit better. So I thought, hey, I should throw that out there for other people who might be having a similar experience. First and foremost, for very many people, there's a voice sort of in your head that says if you can accomplish something without help by yourself, that's somehow better or is going to be more satisfying. And that voice is lying to you, and its purpose is just to get you to not accomplish things. So that's got to be step one. Now, you may think to yourself, I don't think that's true. I just invite you to explore your experience of that. And hopefully explore your experience of that by seeing what it actually feels like to ask for help, receive help, and then accomplish the thing that you wish to accomplish. Because very often, the narrative that, see, we did accomplish a thing by ourselves and it was very satisfying is taken as support for the argument that it is more satisfying than actually receiving help. And that's what got me for a long time. So, maybe it's getting you. Explore it. Check it out. Weigh your options. Have the experience of both sides and see what's actually true for you. Because maybe you're more stubborn than I am and it is more satisfying. I don't know. But that's one angle on it, is making sure you have all of the experience to actually assess that. And then just having the counter programming available, the information available that most people don't go it alone. And in fact, especially for Americans, we have this mythology of the self-made man, which doesn't exist and has never existed. It's just bullshit. If you dig into anybody's life story enough, you find out that they had people who are very successful tend to have had mentors and support and connections, and they probably worked very, very hard and should be commended for that. But there were a lot of external forces also pushing in the direction of their success. And we shouldn't be ashamed of taking advantage of external support wherever that exists in our life in order to achieve the things that we want to achieve in our lives. And hopefully, priority number one is to be happy and to have a positive, life-affirming experience of this wonderful universe that we find ourselves in. So find the support where you can find it. Now, full disclosure, my story, right, being the legendarily stubborn human that I am, I sort of tried to eschew any sort of support for being a happy human being and even really understanding what it means to be a happy human being for as long as possible. My grandmother's a Buddhist teacher and a pretty darn successful one. She's a very talented lady. So I just had her dropping enlightenment bombs, just planting them, little enlightenment IEDs all over my brain for my entire upbringing. That seemed to be her, that and trying to teach me manners, which never succeeded, were her two primary focuses. And the number of times in my life when I would hit some stumbling block in my life and then, oh, my grandmother actually said something about this, like 8 years ago, and she was totally right, and I totally ignored her at that time. I was probably a real dick about that too. ugh. Just having that experience over and over and over and over again until I was willing to go like, hey grandma, what's going on with the universe? Um, you know, and even with that support and the fact that I'm the only child of an only child, so really all the eggs were in one basket, right, which is a really bad idea on their part, but I didn't make those decisions. One basket. So I got a lot of support for like, hey, you want to get educated? Okay, we'll help you. We'll help pay your bills while you're going to school. Oh, you want to do this? Oh, you want to do that? People were really willing to support me, and it still took me the better part of 3 decades to have an experience of life as an adult that was even, the tiniest bit above miserable. Let alone getting to full on happy. I was definitely moving into my 3rd decade at that point where I was like, man, this is great. I'm a happy human being. This is rad. I've learned what it means for me to exist in the world and have a pleasant time. So even with all that support, it was hard as hell. So I can't imagine, if I had it to do over again, I can tell you that the number one thing that I would change in my life is I would look for support sooner. having been through the process of being miserable and becoming happy, the thing that jumps out to me the most is I made that a lot harder than I needed it to be. So hopefully I can save somebody that experience. Somebody hopefully can have a shorter road to being a happy human being than I did by reaching out and getting the support in their life that they need. And another idea that I really want to come at directly is the idea that it's somehow an expression of weakness or a sign of weakness to ask for help, which I don't agree with at all, because I think it takes a tremendous amount of emotional maturity and resolve to assess a situation and go, you know what I have to bring to bear on this problem I'm facing in life, this is bigger than what I have available. Let me reach out to those who love and support me and see what they can offer, how they can help me to move through this. I think that takes a tremendous show of strength to be willing to take that step, because so many of us are so afraid of appearing incapable to our peers, to our social network, that you really have to dig. You really have to have a deep commitment and resolve to realize your own happiness, to be able to take that step. So when I see somebody reaching out and saying, hey, I need help, that isn't something that causes me to go, oh man, let's sit back and judge this person. Oh, they're a bad person. It's like, awesome. That's so great that person has seen through what's going on in their life and seen what steps they need to take. And getting help is such a tremendous first step. And, where do you get help? For most people, right, there's all kinds of help available. In that, most of us have people in our lives who want desperately to help us, as soon as we're willing to open the door to that. And for most people, I think that the voice in your head, if you listen to its assessment of how many people in your life want to help you, that number is going to be much lower than if you just actually go ask the people in your life if they're willing to help you. I think you'll be surprised by how inaccurate that voice in your head can be on this point. And, there's a subset of human beings out there who really don't have help available. If that's being your experience, somewhere on here there's a thing you can click to send me messages or something. I'm happy to be your help. I'm happy to talk to really anybody who wants to talk about being a happy human being. So, leave a comment, or I assume YouTube has some direct message facility, or I'll probably just post my email address in the description or something like that. We're going long here tonight. So anyway, if you have no other help, I'm happy to be some help. But I suspect almost everybody actually has people in their life, and most people have a lot of people in their life that want to help them when they open the door, when they send out the signals like, hey, I am willing to receive help. When you ask for help, you need to be you need to be understanding of the fact that not everybody has a tremendous amount of skills in providing help. So, you know, you have to take on what information is provided to you by people from a generous perspective, right? You can't ask for help and then look for a reason to be upset with the help that is offered. That's not a productive way to approach that. But it's definitely out there, and then, you know, there are people in your life who want you to thrive and flourish and be a happy human being. Open the door. We at the monastery, for a while, we were working with this image that stuck with me, that sort of the process of awakening into a joyful, peaceful, compassionate experience, all the things that actually support being a happy human being, is a lot like a chick being born, like a little tiny chicken in an egg, right? The chick has a little tiny, it has, what is this thing? A beak. There we go. And it has a shell tooth on the beak. And so it can poke its shell from the inside. But if mama hen is sitting on her eggs and can sort of hear that one egg a chick is stirring and is trying to break out, she can be a great service by just pecking it from the outside. And the process is the chick pecking from the inside prompts the mama hen to peck from the outside, and the shell breaks and the chick is freed into this wonderful wider world outside the shell. And that's really what we're going for here. Is we want to be able to receive help. We have to be ready to receive help. We have to be working in a meaningful way to resolve the challenges that confront us in order to act on the help that we receive. But the first step is making some noise, is starting to bang up against that shell yourself and making it clear that you are open to receiving help. And please do. That's really all it is. It's for me, it's a sort of an impassioned plea to be less stubborn than I was, so that you can more rapidly have the experience that I'm having, right? Which is that when you take advantage of the help that's on offer and you make a concerted effort and you really put the work in, you can be happy in a robust way that's really satisfying and leads to a positive life experience. I would love to see that for more people in this world, so reach out, connect to people, find a mentor, a parent, somebody in your religious community, a spiritual teacher, a regular old teacher. My professors when I was in the math department, really, the moment I was willing to admit I had stuff going on there, boom, on top of it, ready to help. All kinds of good advice. There are all sorts of different directions that you can turn somewhere and make some noise, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So that's it. I do have to actually go to sleep at some point. I'm going to stop rambling, but I hope that you'll keep practicing to be a happy human being. There was something else and I've lost it. It doesn't matter. Oh no, now I can't turn the damn stream off. Here we go.